Namaskar. Hello and welcome to P Guru's channel. I'm your host Sri Iyer. Joining me today is Dr. Omendra Ratnu. You've known him as the founder of Nimittekam, and now he has a new initiative called Dharmansh, and we will hear about what Dharmansh stands for and what are its objectives. And he's going to be planning a trip to the United States. He's going to be in your city very soon. We'll talk about that also, and more importantly, what is happening to Sanatana Dharma, the statements made by Udaynidhi Stalin, and so on and so forth. What is Soros up to? All this will be touched also. So first, please like this video, and now let's welcome Dr. Omendra Ratnu. Omi bhai, namaskar and welcome to P Guru's channel.
Namaste, Shri Bhai. Always so good to be on your channel. So full of life, so full of wisdom and phenomenal work that you're doing in awakening the Sanatan Hindu Samaj globally. Honored to be here.
Thank you so much, Omi bhai. So, viewers, he has started this new initiative called Dharmansh. And we talked about it in the last episode, if I remember correctly, when we were talking about his book, Rana Pratap. We talked about it. And in fact, it was a fascinating conversation, guys. Many of you should go back and watch it if you have not already seen it. Omi bhai, you are planning to come to United States in the next few weeks, and you have a plan laid out for we come visit, interact with a lot of us. What is Dharmansh? What does it stand for? What is its objective and vision?
Okay, so this is like inventing the wheel for us because this is something that should have been done at least 7 decades ago. We are 7 decades late. When we go around looking at the way things are fanning out for Sanatan Hindu Dharma globally, of course, the epicenter is Bharat. There's no doubt about that. The battlefield is Bharat. But everything is happening globally. New York Times and Washington Post and 8 city councils of America passing legislations against the Citizenship Amendment Act out of sheer ignorance. So we see a pattern here of some global forces aligning against Sanatan Hindu Dharma. Sanatana Hindu Dharma is the glue that keeps Bharat together. Minus Sanatan Dharma, there is no Bharat. We will lose this nation. So, when a George Soros openly claims that $2 billion to anybody who topples down Modi's government, most of us dismiss it as some maverick, some old guy gone nuts, and he's doing that. Now we have people in this country morning and evening asking for eradication of Sanatan Hindu Dharma. So that is the level of crisis that Sanatan Hindu Dharma faces today. Now, you said that it is my idea. No, first let me put a disclaimer. This is an idea of a think tank. We are a bunch of very concerned Hindus globally. Primarily in Bharat, railway officers, IS officers, doctors, businessmen, Hindus who are very acutely concerned about the way things are happening on the global scale. And when we try to connect the dots, that what is wrong here? What is the missing link? So we see that Sanatana Hindu Dharma is a beautiful thought. If you look at the wisdom of Upanishads, the eternal wisdom, the timeless wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita, the Puranas, the epics, everything is there. That is sublime, in itself. So that is the principle. Then we have the ground people. There are so many beautiful people working selflessly to save Sanatan Hindu Dharma, to serve Sanatan Hindu Dharma, to make it thrive and alive, make it real in the ethos of this nation. But where is the Hindu money? Where is the central core generic fund for propagation and safety and survival of Hindu Dharma? That is the answer. There is no central fund. Now, some may give an argument that we have temples. Yes, of course we have temples. And for the knowledge of our viewers, our very enlightened viewers, some of them give very beautiful responses. I keep watching your channel. So temple money is not only that the government is not freeing it from the temple, from their control, it's part of the problem. And it's a very complicated issue within itself, about which I'm not even competent to speak about. I think TR Rameshji is the best authority to speak about it. But do you know, Shri Bhai, there are dozens and dozens of big temples which are not under government control. They're not giving 10 rupees for the survival of Sanatan Dharma. What do we say about that? भाई मोदी जी के पीछे पड़े रहो कि गवर्नमेंट कंट्रोल से पीछे करो, गालियां निकालते हैं, ट्विटर पे जाकर देखो, there are so many people who are after this government, that, or even otherwise the establishment, even the state governments who are not freeing the temples, Hindu temples, from the government control. What about the temples which are not in government control? What are they contributing to Sanatan Hindu Dharma? Do they even run a charity hospital, a college? In Rajasthan, I see none. Big temples. I don't want to name them, because then again we'll enter in a controversy. People will start going against priests. People will start going against Brahmins. That's what I don't want. So that is the status as far as temples are concerned. The second source of income for Sanatan Hindu Dharma would be our ashrams and mathadhishas, which I'm very glad to report. It is a change in my stand over the last couple of years, ever since I met Didima Sadhvi Ritambara and beautiful people like Devki Nandan Thakurji, who are doing so much for Sanatan Dharma. Now, but that's not enough. That they have their own ashramas to take care. Didima is running such a huge project in Vatsalyagram. And at the end of the day, that money remains for charity. There is nothing for the Hindu worker on the ground who's fighting it out against the Panch Makkars, the five so-called, I mean, if I can use that word, the Makkars, the enemies of Sanatan Hindu Dharma, who are out to annihilate us. The missionaries, the Mullah, the Macaulay Putra, the Marxists, even our own Hindus. So these warriors, these people on ground, these poor Hindus, boys and girls, they are doing this without anything in their pocket. My travel through Bharatvarsh, in the speeches I made about Maharanas and across the globe, made me realize one thing, Shri Bhai, and also my think tank realized this, that the missing link is a central core funding for these beautiful people on streets who are fighting it out on the streets. So the third source is the corporate funding and all that, and that they are all, hoodwinked by the left. We don't have much say in there. Anything concerning the H word, the Hindu word, comes in, and it's a red flag for most of the people. So we decided, okay, we will go to the Samaj and ask for help. And as my friend Dr. Shashi, he sees a very nice thing, and it really stimulated me. Omi Bhai, never underestimate the Hindutva of an ordinary Hindu. So a sea of 120 crore Hindus begging for respect for their dharma, begging to be left alone in a way, begging that do not convert us, begging that leave our economic prosperity alone, leave us on ourselves. We won't interfere with you, you don't interfere with us. No, that's not happening. That is not happening. They say we will eradicate Sanatan Hindu Dharma like dengue and malaria. That is the level of hatred against Sanatan Hindu Dharma. The only glue that keeps us together, the only glue that keeps us, 800 dialects are spoken in this country. Every 100 kilometers, the language changes, the dialect changes, the food habits change, and yet we are a nation only and only because of Sanatan Hindu Dharma. And when enemies of Dharma say this openly, that means we are not playing this game correctly. So we are weak. And what is the weakness? The only weakness our think tank could figure out was the economic weakness. And all the offshoots are consequence of that economic weakness. So Dharmansh is small amount of money from every Hindu on this globe. And we will, Dharmansh Foundation US is a non-profit company, is a 501c registered. You can have your tax benefits if you give a bigger amount. But we seek $10 a month from every Hindu. There are 4 million Hindus in the US. If 1 lakh Hindus give $10, Shri Bhai, we have $1 million. Imagine what we can achieve with $1 million. I must give a rider that I have learned this whole thing from the other political ideologies who call themselves religions. It's something that their model has worked, and there is no harm in learning from them. This money, Dharmansh, will be a money for the Hindus, of the Hindus, by the Hindus. Dharmansh Foundation US will collect this money on a platform. It will be run by very pure people, cardiologist Dr. Shashi, there's IT guy Kumar Gaurav, there's IT guy Nishant, and there's another plastic surgeon Dr. Shashi Kusuma. Very beautiful people who are selfless, who are completely dedicated to the cause of Dharma, and who have a vision that Dharmansh is not a stopgap arrangement. Dharmansh will be there when we are long gone. Dharmansh is for our children. Dharmansh is for Dharma. Dharmansh is going to be as Sanatan Dharma itself. And the rationale for it, I will be elucidating because this has become a long lecture. But just to briefly introduce the idea of Dharmansh, a small amount of money from a larger corpus of Hindus. That is how, and this will be a money for emergency help to any Hindu on the globe, wherever he can reach us. The eventual goal being, once we have enough funds, to start a Hindu helpline manned by committed, bright, intelligent, visionary Hindu boys and girls who will work 24 into 7, because saving Sanatan Dharma from such vile and hideous enemies cannot be a part-time job. It cannot be left to volunteers. Paid boys and girls working for Sanatan Dharma, that is the goal of Dharmansh. I will elaborate more as we go on, as you ask me some questions, because this is getting too long.
Yes, indeed. And thank you for the initial statement about the goals and objectives of Dharmansh. I think you made a very valid point. See, we can't expect people to just rise up when somebody makes a wild statement that Sanatan Dharma should be extinguished, like you would extinguish COVID or something like that. And then another
Eradicate.
person from this eradicate, extinguish, eradicate. Okay. When
No,
somebody says a
eradication
state,
it's a medical term, Shri Bhai. Eradication is for a
that's true.
disease. You
That's
understand
true.
that he's calling Sanatan Hindu Dharma disease. That is the
Disease. Correct.
context.
Correct. Very
That
true.
is the
Very true. I
context.
think the word selection was very careful. In fact, he read
Yeah.
out from a statement given by a
Yes.
Marxist.
Yes.
So आप जो कह रहे हैं ना
Yes.
ये पंचमक्कार, they are all in there. There's a Marxist there. There is this guy. This guy is a Metran. Metran means Christian. So you got your 5 M's.
Yes. The point
Mullahs,
is,
Marxists, Metrans, Macaulay Putras,
and media.
Pancha, I don't.
Media.
Media.
I have an adage for the media of this country. I will give you the data. We can do a separate session on this random, unceasing, low-level, scattered violence. If you think that a sensational violence is the only violence that happens, then we are sadly mistaken. We don't know the real face of these political ideologies. Randomly, 500 Hindus have been murdered in Bharatvarsha ever since Narendra Modi ji became the Prime Minister. I have the
Yes.
entire data on the Jaipur Dialogues website. Anybody can go and visit it. Now, since it is one murder, it never makes it to the headline of the media. So I use a single aphorism for this. Media is not with the enemy, and I say about the mainstream media. Media is the enemy. They sell their atma. There are videos कि ये न्यूज चला देंगे 50 crore rupees दे दो. अरे यार, you sold your craft. तुमने तो मां बेच दी अपनी. तो फिर ठीक है. इसका the implication is that the Panchamakkars are doing what they are supposed to do, what they are conditioned to do, what they are taught to do. Where are the Hindus? Hindus are crying foul, foul, foul. We are not going to play. No, no, no. These are not the rules of the game. Play it according to Dharma. After 7 o'clock, we cannot fight. That same mistake that our forefathers made, although they defeated these murderous jihadis, they defeated them. But at what cost? Prithviraj Chauhan said, after night, we are not going to attack. His generals were saying, kill these people. They are running. He said, no, we're not going to attack people who are running. So, morality is a good thing if it is a two-way traffic. One-sided morality is sure death in today's geopolitical scenario. So, where are the Hindus? Hindus are crying foul, foul. The entire object of Dharmansh is to erect small institutions in every city of this country, every city across the globe, to take on the onslaught and stand for the poor Hindu who is at the firing line. See, a Hindu who is living in 5 kilometers surrounded by other Hindus doesn't face the music. It is the Hindu on the interface. It is the Hindu in Kashmir who's facing the music. He was kicked out. It is the Hindu in Bengal who's facing the music. It is the Hindu in Kerala who's facing the music. So it is the Hindu living on the interface who needs to be protected. He needs to be protected physically. He needs to be protected financially. He needs to be protected legally. All this needs to be thought through. And in this era of internet, it is very simple to go on this.
Omi bhai, and I want to tell our viewers also, logic does not work here. Please understand this. Like what Omiji says, no amount of laws are going to work here because this is a very asymmetric warfare. Why do I say that? If you go to places where the Muslims, especially the Muslims, cross 50% majority, the area where that is, and they have it very clearly in their mind, the remaining minorities, and I'm including Christians also in this because I've seen this thing in Kerala. What happens is the remaining minority, they cannot even take a leak without the others knowing about it. They can't sell their property. They have to these people will tell them whom to sell, how much that person will pay. You have no say in it. Next thing, economically, you get bashed because as you grow smaller and smaller, they can easily economically choke you. And this has been happening. It's not made up. In fact, interestingly, in Tamil Nadu, there's a place called Mel Visharam. About 25 years ago, Dr. Swami fought for minority status for Hindus in this area because it was 80% Muslim, and they were saying, look, you can't sell anything to anybody. We will tell you who to sell. We will tell you how much that person will pay. It was basically blackmailing and threatening and so on and so forth. I'll give you an even more crass, more hard to digest example. The Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation had elections 2 years ago, Omibhai. BJP came from nowhere to get 42 or 43% of the vote. They got a lot of seats, but they could not get the corporation because AIMIM and BRS were together. But you know what many people told us? वो अभी BRS बन गया है, भारत राष्ट्रीय समिति.
वाह, very good.
आप देख रहे हैं वो. अब मैं असली पॉइंट पर आता हूँ. मेरे दोस्त हैं, पत्रकार हैं. He told me कि old city, the land sales, the property sales is all one direction. What is the direction? From Hindus to Muslims. And you know what is happening? There used to be, I grew up in old city, so I have been there. When I was a kid, right, there were areas that were no-go areas. And both both communities agreed कि मैं वहां नहीं आऊंगा, तुम यहां मत आओ, and there was a peace, right? Because this comes from 1940s and 30s and what have you. The rulers needed the Agarwals and the pearl merchants to come and sell them good clothing, good necklace, jewelry, and all that stuff. And these were the people who were in the old city. 50-50, sometimes 55 Hindu, 45 Muslim. Today, the situation is 85-15, 85% Muslim and 15% Hindu. All the Hindus did was, there is a river called Musi River. They just crossed that. On the other side, you have a Hindu majority. Ab jo keh rahe na border, what one after the other, the stories that have been told is Muslims essentially played brain games with these people. If there's a Hindu, the guy will ask, here his Muslim neighbor will ask, oh, looks like your daughter has changed jobs.
Shri Bhai, these are all symptoms of a disease. You have to understand. We cannot keep talking about the symptoms. Fever comes when there is malaria. This is a very nice thing. I remember Osho quoting this, that suppose किसी आदमी को बुखार हो रहा है, तो his temperature is high, आप उसको गंगा में डुबोएंगे तो बुखार तो चला जाएगा, लेकिन फिर आदमी भी चला जाएगा. तो we Hindus have to understand the game being played. The game being played is a very, very active nerve center which plans all this. Which they starting from the madrasa, the theology coaching, the teaching there. वहां से शुरू हो रहा है. And then it is being played. Then the whole thing about economy and the whole thing about the way it fans out, the same pattern. But we refuse to learn. Because we refuse to identify the problem, we don't even seek a solution. That is why the morons who think that they are leading us, they come up with these weird notions of coexistence. I wrote it on the back page of my book that the day Maharani Padmini committed Johar, she burnt all the possibilities of coexistence with alien forces. जो व्यक्ति मेरी बच्ची का बलात्कार करने पर उतारू है, उसके साथ coexistence नहीं हो सकती. There can be no coexistence with people who see rape and murder as legitimate tools of expansion. That having said that, my thing is, we are weak today. We have been made weak deliberately by pursuing artificial goals. Bollywood, cricket, stock market, career. These are all good things. But not when your survival is at stake. How can you forget your basic gut instinct to live honorably? And that is what I saw in my travel across Bharatvarsha, that the semi-urban Hindu, the rural Hindu, that boy out there in the street, that 20-year-old wearing a saffron scarf around his head, chanting Jai Shri Ram, that is the raw energy we need to tap. We need to give protection to that boy. And we need to stand firm. Somebody has to raise the banner. No, this kind of evil violence, this kind of encroachment on our properties, this kind of encroachment on our demography is not acceptable. Sanatan Hindu Dharma cannot be allowed to be hostage of a few people's inaction. Leadership, what is leadership? Leadership is one which is selfless. Leadership is one which has a vision. Leadership should see 30 years, 40 years ahead of its time. The curse on Hindus is our leadership doesn't look beyond 6 months elections. Must just manipulate the election, somehow win that election. There is no civilization Purva Paksha. That is what is, and you're faced with rivals who are planning for 100 years, boss. Look at the patience. 1400 years of incessant onslaught on Sanatan Hindu Dharma by the Western Islamic invaders.
And
They
and
are
those who
they
say
are
that we survived,
relentless.
no, no, Omi bhai, just want to tell you, those who say we survived, I disagree with them. If we had survived, today, Bharatvarsh should begin from Atak and stay till Katak. We have अपने
Well,
बाजुओं को काट चुके हैं. We have lost our rounds.
yes. There was time Afghanistan was Hindu.
Yes.
And not very long back, 300 years ago, Buddhists. I met a taxi driver in Delhi who's a Hazara Muslim, and he was sick of the kind of things that were done to him by Talibanis. He was saying, "We are Buddhists. Please accept us back." So, the entire project of Dharmansh is about providing the financial backup to young Hindu boys, Hindu organizations. We are already aligned with so many organizations, and the Dharmansh Foundation US will the first objective will be to get a refugee status for Hindus of Pakistan in the United Nations. This is something I cannot do sitting in Bharatvarsha. I need the help of the Hindus of America to do this.
Yes.
And this is
I
such
totally
a
agree.
humanity.
Yeah.
It is such a sad story, Shri Bhai. It always makes me emotional to talk about small girls. We cannot be prosperous. We cannot be happy. Forget being happy. We will be exterminated if we do not take care of our girls. 3 girls, this is the European Union Parliament report, being kidnapped. 3 underage girls being kidnapped
Every
per
day.
day. Now, I got a latest report from a very reliable source of Pakistani Human Rights Commission. 5 Hindu girls and Sikh girls. 5 Hindu and Sikh girls are being picked up every single day in that country. How do we live with that? So I beg the Hindus of the United States to help us at the Dharmansh Foundation US to generate $1 million a month. 1 lakh Hindus give us $10. कुछ नहीं है यार, कॉफी का खर्चा है तुम्हारा एक दिन का. एक दिन कॉफी मत पीना उस बच्ची के नाम पे.
No, I completely understand and hear you, Omi bhai, and we will do our best, and we are going to be successful.
How do we rationalize the rape of a 7-year-old child, Shri Bhai? Please tell me, what kind of Hindus are we? Do we even deserve to live? Do we deserve to exist on this planet if some criminals, then सबसे पहले तो गीता जला दो और जन्माष्टमी के दिन भगवान कृष्ण का जन्मदिन मनाना बंद करो. ये भोंडे नाच नाचना बंद करो. Because the central thrust of Krishna's life is karma. तस्मात् उत्तिष्ठत यशो लभस्वः, युद्ध कर अर्जुन. जो तुम्हारी बच्ची पर हाथ डाले उसको तुम क्षमा नहीं कर सकते. उसको pulverize him, make him pay for his sins. That is the way we Hindus need to start thinking. We have to unite, we have to close ranks, we have to trust each other, we have to join hands, join forces. Small amount of inputs from average Hindus. We don't need to be sentimental and emotional about this. Let's be rational. Let's be very cool-headed. Let's be very dharmic in our approach. Let's do it as our yoga. Save the child. That one child. Her blessings. That should be our moksha. That will be our nirvana. Doesn't matter what happens to us after that, but save that one girl child. Your $10 can save that one girl child. And once we do that, once our numbers are safe in Pakistan and in Bangladesh, 1 crore Hindus in Pakistan, 1.5 crores in Bangladesh, you're able to kind of extricate them from the clutches of these evil forces, then we can even think on bigger terms. I mean, why not a missionary Hinduism? Who stops you from uh, training 100 young boys, bright, some night new Vivekanandas? Who stops you from teaching Vedanta to the world? Let there be a world renaissance of Sanatan Dharma. But that is from the position of strength. Right now, we are weak. We are weak. That is why people get away by saying that we will eradicate Sanatan Dharma. Can anybody say this about other political ideologies? Can anybody say this publicly and get away with it? He would be bombarded with FIRs. He would be bombarded with court cases. Leave apart the physical violence, because physical violence is not my thing. I, being a doctor and being an educated person, that is a very gross way of looking at things. I don't see it that way. To me, even the legal angle, the political angle, anybody saying this in Bharatvarsha would be dead meat for other political ideologies. Nupur Sharma was finished for something that she said, and she's a nobody. But here is a party's minister saying, what, kya bach gaya bhai, Shri bhai, what is left to be said? They have spelled the threat clearly. Even if now Hindus are sleeping, even after this threat, then even Mahadev cannot protect us. Even Mahadev cannot save us, because nature is very cruel to the weak. Don't blame the lion. So when you say that Hindus are being kicked out of that particular area, don't blame the lion. The lion is doing its dharma. He's a predator. He will feed on you. Where are your defenses? Aapke defenses kahan hai, bhai? And that is where the Hindu thinkers, the Hindu opinion makers, the Hindu leadership is squarely in question. But since long back, when I started Nimittekam and working for Pakistani Hindus, I realized that it's no point talking about others. Focus on your work. If you deliver, you give your results, Samaj will stand with you. And I'm so humbled, I'm so honored, Shri Bhai, that Samaj has actually supported us. We are getting enough funds to fund projects across Bharatvarsha. And my dream is that once my trip to US is over, we get enough funds in Dharmansh Foundation US so that we can hire a lobbying firm, we can hire a law firm, and we can arrange the meetings with different senators and tell them about the suffering of our girls, tell them of the suffering of our brothers in Pakistan, and somehow get 100,000, 200,000 entry into US, Canada, Europe, Australia, New Zealand. We need to take these unfortunate Hindus out of that hellhole. There is no option. So I'm very hopeful, because when I started doing this 12 years ago, I had nothing. I had literally nothing, no money, nothing. I just had the idea that let's save Pakistani Hindus. And look, we saved 12,000 Hindus out of Pakistan. We managed 5,000 citizenships. Now, Citizenship Amendment Act is being activated. I'm hearing very good signals from this government. So it's a matter of time before Sanatan Dharma bounces back. The good news is that the enemies of Sanatan Dharma have played their game to the hilt. Our pushback is only beginning now, and Dharmansh is going to be key. It is going to be the key to our resurgence as the most balancing force in this world. Sanatan Dharma is the need of this globe to have a balance amidst all these political ideologies, asking for numbers and conversions and idiotic things. We Sanatani Hindus come with the idea of freedom, freedom of thought, freedom of action, as long as it doesn't interfere with my freedom. That is the beauty, that is the message of Sanatan Dharma, and it needs to be taken to every part of this globe so that this is a happier, a safer, and a saner world.
Thank you so much, Omi Bhai. And viewers, you can donate to dharmansh.org today if you happen to be in North America. And we have given you the donate email. You can pay via PayPal or Zelle. And on the website, you can donate from within India also. How to do it is all provided there. Omi Bhai, you just give us a quick rundown on your trip to the United States so we can all come see you wherever we live and encourage you in this process.
Yeah, I will be starting with New Jersey. I'm staying at friend Amit Markande's place, and then Devendra Singh ji, the Hindi USA leader. Then we'll have this HMEC conference where we'll be interacting with most of the temple leaders of Bharat of America, and then we go to DC. DC, we have a program in holiday in Pradeep Sengarji is organizing that. Then I go to Seattle, then to Chicago, then to SFO. I'll be coming to your city also for a day. We have 2 meetings planned. So people can contact me on Twitter. They can direct message me, or they can contact you. We'll be giving you the whole flyer of the US trip. Then I go to Atlanta, North Carolina, Raleigh, Memphis, and then back, and then to Dallas, Houston, Jacksonville, some 3-4 cities in Texas. Then I go to Florida, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, and then I take off from Miami on 31st of October. So it's going to be a very hectic tour. 24 cities I'm covering in about 30 days.
Wonderful.
So, but we need to understand that Dharmansh as an idea, Dharmansh and an idea needs to find roots in the Hindu consciousness. That is the Dharmansh is the only tool which can save us, which can protect us. Not today, not for 10 years. This is something we are creating for our children, our grandchildren. We will be long gone physically, but they will remember us that our fathers, our forefathers did this for us, and we are safe today because of that.
Thank you so much. And viewers, you can get the information from the description section of this video. You can just go there and click on it, and then you'll be able to do your donations. Thank you so much, Omi Bhai, and wish you a great trip. Safe travels. I'll see you here when you are here. And viewers, again, like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Please share this video to all your friends in North America, because we are trying to get this mobilization going in the United States. United States is where the new battleground is. And it is easy if we can fight it now rather than wait for this to grow. And we are stupid enough to allow ourselves to be used as sepoys also. Before it was a white man, now it is somebody else. That's all I can say. Thank you once again, Omi Bhai. And viewers, we will see you very soon with another episode. Namaskar.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.